What is up, everybody? Today, we're going to talk about the 5 things I learned on my first tour. But before I do all that, I got to take my grandma to go to the store. I'll be right back. Let's get it. I was going to change, but fuck it. I'm not changing. I'll meet y'all there. Took it to the store. And we're back. What is up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Mills back with another video. Today, I want to talk about the 5 things I learned on my first tour overseas. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel, and you hitting subscribe is the best way for me to do it. But let's get into it. But before I talk about the 5 things I learned, I need to tell you a story about my first time flying out. So this is what happened. I'm going overseas for the first time. It's March 3rd. I remember I started the job January of 2015. I did the NEO, which is pretty much orientation, and then I did all the fire school and all that other stuff, which took about 2.5, 3 weeks. So now I'm done. Everything is good to go. I'm about to get on my first ship. It's March 3rd. I'm flying out from Norfolk, on March 3rd. And I'm supposed to be meeting the ship in Sasebo, Japan. From Norfolk to Texas, this is the flight that was going to be Norfolk to Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, and Fort Worth, Texas to Seoul, Korea, and from Seoul, Korea to Sasebo, Japan, or Fukuoka, Japan. So I left Norfolk to get to Texas. Everything's good. Everything's on time. I get to Texas and I find my gate. Everything is good to go. Then we hear over the was an intercom or whatever it was that my flight from Fort Worth, Texas to Seoul was going to be delayed 2 hours. The reason why this is important, you will see later. So I was delayed, but I didn't think nothing of it. Got on the flight after an extra 2 hours. Got on the flight, made it to Seoul, Korea. Now, by the time we got there, I noticed that I barely had any time to get to my next flight, and I'm freaking out a little bit. Mind you, this is my very first time flying overseas. I've never been overseas before. And I was like, I'm already nervous. I already know that I'm not going to know what they're talking about, or I'm not going to understand anything that they're saying when I got to Seoul, Korea in the airport. But luckily, there was an agent waiting for me because I'm assuming they knew I was supposed to be on that flight and I was already running late. And so we get there. I see the agent. She says, "Are you Michael Mills?" Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Yes." She was like, "We need to hurry up your next flight." I literally only had like 20 because of the delay. I only had like almost like 20, maybe 30 minutes. And mind you, this is Seoul, Korea, the airport in Seoul, Korea. The airport is huge. This is my first time going overseas too. And I'm already like, oh, this is the experience I get. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we are running. Literally, I mean, we're literally running. So she gets me through customs and I'm skipping everybody. And you can see everybody that sees me. Or sees me skipping them, you can see it in their face, in their eyes, like, oh man, how come this guy get to go past us? And I'm like, I'm feeling bad and stuff. But she's like, no, we got to keep going. So she gets me through customs, and we're like, by this point, we're already late. Like they're holding the flight for me. So we get there, get through customs, then we have to take a train to the other gate or whatever that area of the airport. So we took the train. We get there, she doesn't really talk much to me. She says a couple things here and there, but she doesn't really say too much. And then when we get off the train, I literally have to run to the gate. We're running. And mind you, for whatever reason, it just so happened the gate that I got to get on or get to the flight is the last gate in the damn airport. So we are running. I'm sprinting. And this is before I had like a roller backpack. I just had like a regular backpack that was on my back. And as we're running, oh my gosh, the most annoying thing happened. My backpack unzipped as we're running and everything just falls out. So I'm already panicking. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I'm picking up all my stuff. She's like, we really gotta hurry up. We really gotta hurry up. So she's helping me throw everything back in my backpack. And I'm holding in my hand and I'm running. And then the end result, we finally make it. And mind you, I'm the last one on the flight. They was already holding it. I think I delayed them at least like And mind you, this is an airport. Being delayed for any other reason, like besides mechanical reasons, is like a big deal. So I think I'm like 6, 7, maybe 10 minutes late or whatever. I was surprised they held it for me, but they held it for me. I made it. I sat down. I'm sweating profusely, and obviously, I'm when I got on the flight, I'm the only one that looked like me that's on there, and I'm already drenched in sweat. I'm breathing hard. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I'm nervous. It wasn't even so much that it was such a far run. It was only like maybe a mile. Okay, maybe a little less than. I don't know. It felt like 5, but probably less than a mile. But it was just like we're going and I'm going. I get there, I sit down, made it, and then something was just in my head. I was like, I don't. I barely made this flight. I don't think my luggage made it. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. Blah blah blah. The flight is only like 2.5 hours, maybe 3 at most. We land in Fukuoka, Japan, and I was right. I land, then I'm walking to baggage claim, and this is my first time being overseas ever. So I'm walking to baggage claim, and then I just see these two Japanese ladies running up to me, and they're like, hi, are you Michael Mills? Are you Michael Mills? I'm like, yes. And it was like, we're so sorry, your luggages didn't make it. And I'm like, oh my God. And that brings me to lesson one. The first thing I ever learned about flying overseas: bring on your carry on, always bring at least just one pair of undergarments, socks, and a toothbrush and a travel toothpaste. Always, always, I am begging you, always do it. It's going to save you from heartache if your luggage didn't make it. And that, because I literally had to make it to the airport, or we made it to the ship, and they didn't. It was obviously, it was like 10 o'clock at night or 11 at night. I don't even think it was that. I think it was like almost midnight by the time we got to the ship. We had to take a bus. It was a 2-hour bus ride, and then we got there, and we there was like three of us, but I met them after we all got off the flight. I think a couple of us had different flights, but we all just happened to land at the same time, which was kind of cool. But we all made it to the ship, and they was like, we got your room ready, this is and that. So we went to our room. I couldn't change into nothing because I didn't have any clothes, and I couldn't brush my teeth, take a shower, or nothing because I didn't have anything. Um, so lesson one: bring a spare. Like, I'm serious. Bring a spare underwear, socks, toothbrush, and even bring you, if you can. I'm not saying go all out with your carry on, but just bring like one pair of night garments, just in case. This is really a just in case moment. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happened to me twice. So just in case, bring those things, because it would, if all this does happen to you, your luggage just happen to not make it with you, it would still feel so good to be able to change your underwear and be able to brush your teeth. Because if you can't do that, and then you might not be able to get your clothes the next day, because let's say that's the only flight that they have they do that flight for mine was Seoul, Korea to Japan, Fukuoka, Japan. They only do that once a day. There's some flights they only do it twice a week. So let's say you do it that one week, and then you have to wait for like a couple days to get it the next time. So I'm telling you, bring your spare clothes, or like I said, just the underwear, not too much, just underwear, some, and toothbrush. That would save you a lot. Okay, lesson number two. This one has really nothing to do with the story I told, but lesson number two I learned on my first ship was take care of your debt. Like, this seems pretty obvious, like financial wise. When another video I did to maximize your money, I put it right here. But this one is just something I learned. If it's easier to take care of certain things with this job, and it's easier for you to grow once you knock out all the stuff that's like holding you back, which is mainly debt. Obviously, more consumer debt. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to take care of like your car payment or your house payment or your mortgage. all in one tour. But like if you have any like credit card debt or if you have a student loan, take care of it your first tour. Yes, you still need to be able to put money aside, but take care of that debt your first tour. It opens things up for like the rest of your career out there. And if you happen to not have as much, knock it out as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? Because this way it'll help you do the next thing I learned. It's save money. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of you see a lot of I don't know what they call it, internet gurus be like, oh, saving is not the best, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm not saying only save your money, but I'm saying in the beginning, save what you are making right now because in the future, when you want to do those big purchases to make you like whether it be a house or you want to buy a car wash or whatever business or whatever it is you're trying to do, that pocket of money that you have, you know what I'm saying, is going to help you do it. So really, at this one, like I said, lesson three, self-explanatory, save. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I need to go too much in detail about it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Save your money. It'll definitely help you in the future. Now, lesson number four, what I learned, this is just like, this is my personal experience, but I feel like everybody can learn from this if they went on their, especially on their first ship. Listen to veteran mariners, not just myself, but like talk to like, I'm not saying like the old heads, they don't got to be like 50, 60 years old, but a lot of times those ones are the ones that would teach you like certain, whether it just be about the job itself or it be like about their life outside of the job. And again, take this with a grain of salt because not everybody is out there to help you. And I've learned this myself. No matter who it is, not everybody is your friend. So they may try to steer you the wrong way and they may do it like maliciously. Like they would do it just to hurt you or hinder you. You know what I'm saying? But then there are some that it's the way they grew up. So, but it's not really the best way, but they're still going to try to teach you that way because that's how they grew up. That's how they learn. Like some people are like, oh, yeah, your first couple of years, just have fun, blow your money, blah, 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 do this and that. And I'm not saying you can't have fun out there, but the first couple, like the first 1 or 2 years, what you do the first couple of years really will determine like which way you plan on going. And whether that be like the job itself, like the career, if you, whatever field you're trying to get into, stuff like that, whether you want to go to engine department, the deck department, the communications department, or the supply department, you know what I'm saying? Whichever department you're trying to get into, yes, listen to somebody. If they're trying to help you, listen to them. But also listen to the guys or talk, find old heads that don't even got to be old heads, but like find old people that's been in that like myself, like has houses, do stuff like that. I'm not saying go up to every person and be like, hey, do you have houses? Do you have a business? No, like hear what's out there, something like that. Feel your way around, because there is a lot of knowledge out there. That's how when I first came in, there happened to be a guy that was on the ship. His name is Casey. When I met him, I mind you, I was brand new, it was my first ship, but I was telling I heard he was buying houses and stuff like that. I think at the time he only had like two or three at the time. And this is 2015. And then he's an older guy, older gentleman. And we talked. And then the more I talked to him, he even told me like near the end of the tour, he was like, really, when you first talked to me, I thought you were just gonna be some kid, like some dumb kid. But the more we talked, he was like, yo, you have a good head on your shoulders, stuff like that. Especially when it came to the end of the year. When I was about to go, we just happened to talk about how much I was able to save. And it was like, wow, you saved pretty much everything you made. And I was like, yeah, that was my whole goal. I wanted to take care of the very, very, very little amount of student loan debt I had. It was only like 4 or 5 grand or something like that. I don't even think it was that much. You know what I'm saying? I think by the time I got to the ship, it was only like 3.5 grand, like 3,500 something like dollars, something like that. So I was like, I could take care of that. But the rest, I didn't have any bills besides like my phone bill and my car insurance. But other than that, I was like free and clear. But talking to somebody like that and you finding someone like that will want to talk to you, like help you grow or like show you different ways, is those are the kind of people you want to find. Those are the kind of people you want to talk to. You are gonna meet like some salty sailors, to be honest, the ones that are just upset about everything, um, hates this, hates that, everybody's a racist or everybody's an asshole, stuff like that. You want to stay away from those guys. Yeah, they could be fun to hang around with sometimes, but take what they say like. Just, I'm not saying don't be friends with them because they could be cool, but they're not the best people to be around. Like there's a lot of negativity out in this field, so feel your way around. But the best thing you can do is meet people like the older gentleman that I met, especially when you're brand new. If you meet somebody like that when you first come in, it can literally change like your mindset, how you're gonna go about everything. Like meeting him, don't get me wrong, I have my parents, they do the same thing, but seeing it from a different perspective and not with somebody that I see every day, you know what I'm saying, at home. Like when you're at home and somebody does certain things, it's like, okay, that's just what they do. But when you see somebody else doing the same thing and they're succeeding at it, you're like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Because your parents isn't going to show you everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you're, especially if you're still living with them, you see like everything that they're able to do, but you don't ever know. Your parents don't typically ever like fully tell you. They're not fully transparent, as parents shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? But when you see somebody else doing the same things and you see the success that they have, then you're like, oh wow, this is actually what I'm working up to. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if you ever go out to sea and you meet me, like I'm an open book. I will talk to you all day, every day about whatever it is that I feel like I'm doing at the time. And if I'm succeeding or if I'm failing, I will talk to you. Obviously, I'm not saying I am an open book, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so or number four, definitely listen to veteran mariners or listen and talk to them. You'd be surprised. Lesson number five that I learned, and this is for me, I regret it. Oh my gosh. Lesson number five, take a bunch of pictures and videos. Oh my gosh. It seems, I know in this day and age, you're like, oh, that seems easy. Of course, I'm going to do it, blah, blah, blah. But my dumbass, I took some, but I didn't save any. Like, I had them on my phone and I never really did anything with them. And I didn't really do too much videos because I had no plans on doing like a YouTube back then. This is 2015. I just got the job. My focus was I want to save money to get some houses. That was it. You know what I'm saying? But I never really took that many videos or pictures. And the ones that I did, they were on like some phone that I can't even find now if I wanted to. Like fine, like you're gonna look back one day, like let's say you started sailing today or 2023, 2028, if you're still sailing 2028, 2029, like 5, 6, 7 years from now, you're gonna want to look back and be like, oh my, like, because there's still some photos that I do have that I have somewhere. I look completely different. I might put a picture right here. Completely different. Like looking at my 23-year-old self compared to the 31-year-old me now, I'm like, oh my gosh, there was so much I needed to learn. It's one of those things, like looking back is great. So take pictures and videos, do it, you won't regret it, and you'll regret if you don't. You know what I'm saying? And put them on an external hard drive. That's what I'm probably gonna start doing soon. Put a lot of the old pictures and stuff like that on the external, somewhere where you can keep it saved. And if you want to look back on it, you know what I'm saying? Because there's stories to tell, and just one picture. What was that saying? A picture says 1,000 words. You know what I'm saying? And then so yeah, so definitely take pictures and videos because this is a crazy life. Not many people get to go Australia. Like my first ship, I went to Darwin, Australia. I went to Japan. Like I had so much fun, but I barely any pictures from it, and I regret that. But yeah, that was lesson number five. In conclusion, though, I want to leave y'all with this. My first tour was like a huge learning experience. I I had to learn to become way more resourceful than I was. Obviously, when you're in your early 20s, like late teens, really early 20s, and you're just starting a job and you're getting paid this much, you're like you don't know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Luckily I had a good head on my shoulders, and my parents, they always helped me, you know what I'm saying? And but you're gonna learn fast. Like for me, I learned real quick, real fast, like what to do, what not to do, just from my first ship. It was a huge learning experience, especially being away from home. But there's a lot of you, especially if you're young, you've never been away from home, and now you're about to be thousands of miles away from your comfort zone. And that is a shock to a lot of people. I see a lot of guys that come out and like the younger guys, they never left Norfolk pretty much. They go overseas, they do stupid stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know any better. They've never been anywhere, they're having fun, and stupid things happen. Keep your what was the word? Keep your head on a swivel type stuff. Yeah. Pay attention to what you're doing, but still have fun. This is a fun career if you make it. And I mean nowadays it's a little iffy, but before this was a great career. You have fun, you go out, do new things because you're in a new country. You just it's a good time. Or it can be a good time. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. I love you guys. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do that below. There's, like I said, this new kind of page that or channel that I'm growing right now. This is for you. Like, I'm trying to help you guys, and I'm actually trying to grow as a person also. I want to be a mentor to people like I had, you know? But don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I love you guys. Deuces.